Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Next, we have Cody in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Hey, Cody. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Rachel. Hey, John. It's good to hear from you guys. I must admit it's a great birthday gift to be able to talk to you guys. I'm pretty excited.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
nervous.
Cody.
How old are you, man?
Birthday's not till tomorrow, but yeah, it's exciting for me. I've been listening. I'm a new listener, but
How old are
I do
you?
enjoy listening to you guys. 29 tomorrow.
Nice.
Hey, you're going to be 29 for the next 30 years of your life. Congratulations. That's
I
awesome.
know, that's what my mom keeps saying. She's been 29 for about 30 years or something like that.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, she loves being 29. It's great.
So what's
I've got
up, dude?
a bit of a two-part question for you guys, if that's okay. It's one question, but I don't even know really how to ask it in one single
Okay.
thing. So I bought I started a job in insurance in 2019. We moved out to Pennsylvania. My wife's family lives here, and we lived with her parents for a little while, and we had a brand new baby at the time, and that was absolutely toxic, and I had to get out of it. So we wanted to buy as well because we've been renting for so long, and at the time, like, we'll be close to family, so we wanted to buy anyway just to be in the state and grow my business. But we bought a house that's more of like your first home buy. It checked all the boxes we needed, but as the last 3 years have gone on, we don't really love the house. We're realizing we like more space. We kind of think that we want to move, but the reason I have this question every time I listen to the show is because when I bought the house, I didn't have 2 years of consecutive work history because I'm self-employed. So my dad offered to put his name on the house. I know how the Ramsey family feels about. I know. Don't hurt me. But I didn't. So I've only been listening to you guys for a little bit. But I know when I listen, and I would never do it now, nor would I ever ask him to do it again. And I've already apologized to him for doing it. And he makes buckets of money out in California doing what he's doing anyway. But it's not a problem for him, and he's never paid a single dollar at all from our house, the down payment, anything. His name just had to be on the thing in order for us to get it.
Sure.
So the idea was to get the house after I worked for 2 years, refinance it. But we're sitting here now, 3 years later, and interest rates have more than tripled. So I'm like, it sounds so dumb to refinance it. I'm a little torn because I want his name off of it. Even though he doesn't need his name off of it, it's not hurting him.
Right.
The bills have never gone unpaid. We do our job, but my three options that I kind of come to are refinance or stack the deck until we're ready to get the new house, which takes some time, obviously, or just pay it off in the next 3.5 to 4 years because my income goes up quite a bit each year.
Sure.
I'm just not even sure what to do, but I'm like, is it wrong to hang him on the loan or what? But
how much do you owe on the house?
About 180, 85, 185.
Okay. And how much do you make a year?
Well, see, that's the thing. So my income has doubled over the last 2 years, and I get about a $40,000 increase each year. But
I would say you have the last few years, and you hope to get it in the future.
Yes.
Be very careful about making.
You guys would.
Yeah, don't make financial decisions based on this. Yeah, in 14 years, I'm going to be making. Right. Be careful about that.
Right. And that's why I don't want to go into like a really expensive house or anything. We're minimal people. We don't need a lot to be happy, but our income now, I'd say by the end of this year, we'll probably clock in just under. I'd say probably somewhere around 90. And then, because the majority of everything that I make, I get a giant bonus in January, depending on how annual enrollment period goes for Medicare, because I do mostly Medicare.
Okay.
So I get a huge influx in the beginning of the year, and then I get like a monthly payment through the rest of the year. So I have to spread it out. I'm good at saving because I have to spread myself out in order to live. So
sure.
After that point, it really
do you guys have any other debt, Cody?
No other debt. Well, all right, that's a lie. We have a car that's going to be completely paid off in January. Well, in December, it's going to be paid off.
Okay.
Completely. So other than that, we just have a house.
Okay. And you said I've done the math. I cut you off, but.
Well, after I've done the math, and I know John just corrected me not to do that, but I've done the math in a conservative manner as though I'm going to be increasing my income only half of what I've been increasing it the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
at about a $20,000 increase because I like to do my numbers extremely conservatively.
Sure.
And it should only take us about 3 to 4 years to pay off the house.
I know,
think,
Cody.
when
Yeah.
I do my numbers.
I mean, honestly,
I don't know what to do. If I get his name off of it, or if there's a way to do that without refinancing. It just seems so dumb to refinance with such high interest rates right now.
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah, and I think if you talk to your mortgage broker, I mean, maybe there's a way around it. You know, there's sometimes they have different stuff, but I mean, I don't know if that's going to be a situation for you. But I mean, there's a part of me, Cody, and I'm going to just say it, that I'm like, listen, you're not going to have this house for 15 years. You guys have an aggressive plan.
We don't want the house.
Yeah, you have an aggressive plan to pay it off. You sound, as you're talking to us, like you're on track. There's not been a situation so far with your dad and all of that.
Go ahead, because I'm kind of burning here. Go ahead.
Go. Well, I was gonna say. I mean, like,
I want to hear the fire. Throw me down.
No, we're not gonna throw you down.
No,
I mean,
no.
I would run the math and just see, okay, how much extra. Yeah, because if your interest rate is going to be 7% versus 2% or whatever, 5%, how much extra is that? How much longer would that take you? And you guys need to really run these numbers out, and you and your wife need to sit down and ask, okay, is the extra tens of thousands, whatever it is, dollars that we're going to pay if we refinance to get him off and clean slated, what is it worth it to us? Is that because right now it doesn't sound like the relationship is overly strained. It doesn't sound like he's a toxic person, and because there are people that call Cody. Listen though, and it goes down the drain, right? This is why we tell people not to do this, because it can go down the drain really fast. And so if you were in a situation, and we get this a lot, where it's like, oh my gosh, her name's on it, and she's doing this and wanting this and telling me here, and it's just a disaster. I would be like, no, and I would get out of it no matter the interest rate because of the toxic relationship. Right. But what you're saying is you're in Pennsylvania, he's in California. You guys seem that it's okay. Like you guys, from a relationship standpoint, there hasn't been this big, explosion. And you're going to pay it off in 3 years. So all of that, I would be comfortable, Cody, if you just keep going down the track and pay it off in 3 years and be done with it. Again, if the timeline was different, if the relationship was different, my answer probably would change.
Yeah, I hear one word coming through.
Pay it off when we don't really.
I know, but listen, I hear one word, and that is ego. You said it.
You know what?
You said it while Rachel was talking. I just want this personal accomplishment, bro. You took out a loan with your daddy's signature on it. It would almost be irresponsible right now for you to flex your ego to the tune of however many thousands of dollars that your ego would cost you. And to keep going, your ego says, I just got a $40,000 raise. I'm going to get a $40,000 next year, and a $40,000 the year after that, and a year after that. What you haven't experienced is there is usually, when you get into an industry, there's a low bar, and then you do a really great job, and you go way up, and then you go way up again, but it does begin to plateau. And while we're at it, your ego says, I make $90,000 a year. We don't need this little house. We need something that better reflects us. And so what I want you to do is to take your ego and put it in a drawer and say, what is best for our family right now in this season? And let's go from there, because I'm super nervous that you have gone over the next 5 years and given yourself a $40,000 raise in your mind, put that on paper, and you and your wife have talked about the house you could afford. And I think that's not real. And that you've reverse engineered that fantasy all the way back to this discomfort with your dad's name is still on your loan.
Well, I have to admit, we're really not. We bought this one at 185, and we're actually thinking of coming closer to you guys, Tennessee, Arkansas. And with what we're looking at, it really would only run somewhere between 200 to 250, which is what our house is kind of going for right now.
Okay, so you'd keep that flat, which would be awesome. Good for you. And y'all are moving, that's awesome too. I'm with Rachel. I would ride this thing out. It sounds like your dad's a great guy and is not abusing his relationship. I would ride this out until y'all are committed to what your next steps are.
Yep.
And I just pay the sucker off.
Yep.